Hi guys, we've got a special guest, first year tutors joining us today for a key video on 5 quotations from A Christmas Carol that will answer all questions in preparation for your upcoming exam. We're going to start with Scrooge in the opening, which we're going to look at. He carries his own low temperature just to avoid solitaries and oyster for this revision video. It's going to cover isolation, greed, capitalism, obviously the theme of Christmas being the time that Dickens is writing the book, if you like. He carries own low temperature gives us this metaphorical idea that he's actually carrying coldness with him, this idea that he can't extend emotion to other people, sympathy, compassion, and he avoids things like kindness and generosity, which are some of the simple 7 heavenly virtues. Carrying it around becomes quite burdensome, doesn't it? And again, if we can move around at the end in stave 5, we are told that he is light as a feather, which will juxtapose the ignorant Scrooge from the beginning.
The second quotation is also taken from early on in the novel, okay, in stave 1, and this is relating to his former business partner Marley, okay. So Marley admits that mankind was my business, and of course this quotation is really powerful because number 1, it emphasizes Scrooge's character and it shows the destructive effects and destructive consequences of capitalism during the Victorian era. Remember that Dickens was obviously trying to impart a message to his readers who tended to be richer, that they have become so obsessed with making money at the expense of the poor workers and poorer people in society, okay. So of course the consequences of that in the afterlife is Marley being punished, and he's basically warning Scrooge that if you carry on exploiting the poor and using them just to simply make money and have more business, then you're going to face the same fate as me. And of course this quote is perfect because it ties into Dickens's essentially socialist message, right, towards more equality and away from capitalism, but it also emphasizes the destructive effects of greed, the destructive effects on solely focusing on money and making wealth, and social injustice and isolation that's been caused as a result of this obsession that Marley had with making money, which is a similar obsession that Scrooge has.
Number 3, guys, as I'm going to move to Fezziwig, not done to great deal really when you're looking at exam responses, but he answers quite a lot for us. The metaphor we're going to get here is organ of benevolence, massive image for you, because if you think about the organs in your body, in the human body, they have specialised tasks. The kidney does something, the liver does something, the heart does something. So then if we now think of, well, if Fezziwig is the organ of benevolence, which is goodwill and kindness, and he dies, so he's removed from that society, then the goodwill and the generosity is removed also from Scrooge's life, isn't it? The organ of benevolence is wonderful as well, because what subtly Dickens does here is shows us that capitalism can work if it uses one of the 7 heavenly virtues, which again is generosity and kindness. In terms of thematic response, we're saying a possible positive aspect of capitalism, because Fezziwig is a good businessman as opposed to the Marleys of the world and the Scrooges. It's Christmas again, he's got everybody at his party, it's kindness, it's generosity, and students will often miss that on a generosity response because we're too focused on what Scrooge is and isn't doing. So it's just a subtle reference to what Fezziwig will do for us in stave 2.
Okay, and the 4th quotation is taken from stave 3, right? Because stave 1 is past, stave 2 is present, and actually this is stave 2, Christmas present, right? And this is when the spirit warns Scrooge, right? Spirit of Christmas present tells Scrooge to beware this boy, for on his brow is written doom, okay? And of course, remember, just prior to that, he's introduced them to both ignorance and want. I wanted to actually use this quotation rather than ignorance and want, which lots of students tend to use, and it's a very popular quotation, but this one is just as effective in illustrating, firstly, the destructive effects on poverty in stealing the innocence of young people, okay? Also illustrating the class system, the Victorian class system, where majority of people in Victorian society were quite poor, but also this is illustrating kind of and foreshadowing the death that Scrooge is going to face, and obviously him seeing his body in the final stave when he is shown his body and how isolated he is and so on as a result of his actions. And this is highlighted through the character of the boy, who is told that doom is written on his brow, okay? So remember, obviously the boy also is symbolically used to illustrate children who didn't go to school, okay? So it also has really huge symbolic reference.
And the last one, very, very, so it's just a single word, this one, in reference to Tiny Tim. It's just crutch. So when he comes in, obviously we know that he's described as withered, little, but he's on crutches, isn't he? And again, it can be missed. That's a big metaphor for you, because he needs the support of these crutches, doesn't he? Again, the message that Dickens has given us, because we always have to talk about Dickens' message, is that capitalism means that our poor can't actually access the healthcare system. So somebody as innocent as Tiny Tim is going to die because of that. Ignorance and want are also going to struggle. There's a lack of education. Crutch will also look at like wider support. So we now get the socialist message that Dickens is portraying to us about how we can help other people. There's a biblical message in there as well. So when we look at the support Tiny Tim needs, his opening reference when he's upon his father's shoulder, he also needs the support of his immediate family as well. So we're talking about the wider community. And Dickens' message, remember, is always the same. So ensure that is in your essay somewhere.
Okay.
All right.
So guys, make sure you head over to First Rate Tutors, as we'll be doing a revision video on the 5 quotes that you can use in any Jekyll and Hyde essay.
Thanks, guys.